welcome to the video. And today we have Murtuza with us, and we are going to discuss about full stack development. He is a full stack software engineer at Gujarat-based company, and we are going to discuss about how you can learn web development, how you can scale your journey to some advanced stuff just like Docker deployment and that stuff, and how you can get actually job. With Murtuza is a part of Recode community where he writes the content, and he also build amazing projects that I will put the link in the description, so you have to must visit. And we will going to discuss about how building project will help you in your journey to scale and learn some good level understanding of the technology. And yeah, this is the actual aim of this video. So yeah, Murtuza, you can start with your introduction.
Yep. So, hey everyone. So currently I work as a software engineer at Imrail. So my area of work is towards the backend side now. So I work with Docker and PostgreSQL and some backend stuff. Earlier I also worked as a front-end software engineer. I worked with React and Material UI and Jest and all of that stuff. So I started my web development journey in my college around 3 years ago. So uh, I started from websites like CSS Tricks and FreeCodeCamp. So they are a great resource if you are just starting out, right? If you want to just learn, basic HTML and CSS, right? They are the best sites to visit, right? And build some basic projects, right? And you will learn by building projects only, right? You can't learn stuff just by looking at it. You have to build something with it, right? So that's the approach that I used, and yeah, I have learned so much from it up until now, and I'm still learning. So yeah.
And also, like, tell us about your tech journey, how you started, the first project that you built, and any open source contribution that did, yeah, that you contributed and you get a good experience. So share about that.
Yeah, so I'm basically from a computer applications background. So I got exposed somewhat exposure from my university as well, right? So I started building projects, alongside my academics. Uh, but I was also interested in blogging. So whenever I built something, I wrote about it, right? So around 2 years ago, I posted my first blog post on CSS tricks. So I just sent out an email, right, pitching my idea, and it got accepted, and it felt really good at that time. And yeah, CSS tricks also paid you as a technical writer back then. Now I don't know if they are still continuing with it.
Right
I
now,
think
I
they have
think
stopped it.
they are a part of Digital Ocean, and Digital Ocean pay you
Yeah,
50 or 60 dollars per article.
yeah. And I don't know if they still have that guest writer program, but yeah, you can still look at their website. It's still up and running. So yeah, that's how I got into web development and blogging. And from there, I kind of started learning new things like React on top of JavaScript. So I recommend to learn JavaScript first and then move on to some frameworks and meta frameworks so that you have the basics in place, right? So that's what I recommend. And yeah, then, sky is the limit, right? I mean, you can't learn everything in web
Yeah, yeah, I
development.
agree, I agree.
You can't be 100% knowledgeable in that. Like I'm still learning, right? So yeah, you have to make the first step. So that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, because technology is very vast. No one can learn everything at one time, and to mastering something, you at least you need 3 to 5 years to just go in depth and understand every from top to bottom that technology. It takes times, and same with JavaScript and all frameworks. You can just learn basics and start building projects, and when you build project, you will understand what are the issue with that particular technology, how you can solve, and that production level and all stuff. I think that's the great way to do that. And uh, as you mentioned, CSS tricks. So for the audience, CSS tricks is a great platform to learn web technologies. Personally, I learned a lot of CSS things from there, just like some advanced stuff, just like modifying and structuring the actual CSS. Just you can define the your complete design system into root with say a design system file, and you can access all that elements in your uh, different CSS file to build a website, and it actually works like amazing because the loading time it's requires very low loading time, so you will get the better user experience to that. You can serve betterly to the user, and best practices to CSS and that stuff you can learn from it. Also, though, you can learn the modern framework, just like CSS frameworks, Tailwind, Bootstrap, and that stuff. So it's a great platform. So yeah, and Murtuza, tell us about the project building stuff. Like you build amazing projects, and how you started building projects, and for what are the recommendation you want to share with the students who just starting their projects. Like what are the best practices to do that?
So for building projects, I would say start at the basics, right? So maybe you can build uh, a simple website, maybe an e-commerce website to start, right? Just to get the idea of how you can use component architecture and how you can build some basic functionality like authentication, right? So start with that stuff. You can also use tools like CodePen and Code Sandbox,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So they provide you a better developer experience. You don't have to do anything locally. You don't have to configure anything. They provide you a template and then you can build on top of it. So if you want to get started quickly, right, you can use those tools as well. And they are great tools, right? You can always share your work with other people by sending them a link, a shareable link, right? So that's what I recommend for building projects. And once you get the basic idea of how you can build projects, then maybe try some advanced stuff, right? Maybe try building a CLI, command line interface, and then try integrating it with your website or something like that, right? Trying integrating AI nowadays. So
yeah.
that's what I recommend.
And I think that last point that you mentioned, integrating particular AI, API, working with APIs from front end to back end to fetch data from the pre-built API, and building your own API and then working with it gives the another level confidence, because that's the real time development that you get into apart from building some to do projects or that stuff. To dos are also good if you're a beginner, but so as you grow and as you learn, API is that's something that you look for. And yeah, like right now AI market is currently growing, so you have to understand as a web developer as well. If you're a web developer, how you can work with AI, how you can integrate, and how you can automate the process, how you can simplify the process for the people. Just like just entering a prompt, it will give you the complete blog or information about particular thing. And as well as I see a lot of tools where you can just put the particular string, like create application for restaurant management system, or give me a UI based application, and it will give the complete UI based website with the code and all the UI things. So you will also get better idea what is the actual they how someone can build that technology. Like stay curious about that and that stuff. Yeah. And Murtuza, like, what do you think about the AI in web development stuff? Like, because as I mentioned, you can just enter simple prompt and it will give the nice looking UI website. So, like, then what are the role of front end developers in future?
So it's more complicated than we imagine, right? So uh, when you're working in the industry, right, there is not just one thing that you need to care about, right? There is not just the UI or the backend stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
There
like
is also
functionality in that stuff. Yeah,
decision making involved, right? So you have to make certain decisions based on your clients or users which are using the website, right? So that decision making is always at the human level. I think that AI has not gone too far to that level, uh, like it can make decisions. So you still need humans to build better user experiences, right? You can create websites using AI, right? It can generate
Yeah,
a
yeah.
template and that stuff, but that's still basic stuff. You still need to improve upon it, right? So that's the area where human expertise is still needed.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's how, because as I say, what are the role of front end developer? But as you mentioned, like there are a lot of things in front end developer as well. You need to think about just like decision making, particular design, or what are the new feature that you want to bring, because you can't just bring some new feature with AI. Also, in future will be there, but right now there are a lot of complex things, and front end developer plays most important role in development, because at the back end side you have to more focus on the scalability of the application, but at the front end side you have to take care of everything about the user experience itself, because if someone visit your application, you have to make sure he spend, or he get what he is looking for from your platform, or the website that you build. And the loading and that security part would be comes from the backend area, backend developers. But user as a front end developer, it's a lot work to do, because it's not just designing, it's just understanding the user way to explore, and just understand how,
Exactly.
yeah, how
Yep.
it, yeah. So that's the complex work as well. I think that AI can be replaced right now, don't know about the future. So yeah. And again, the project part, uh just just give some insights on just JavaScript is something that everyone learning, but no one knows. In industry standard you have to use TypeScript, because it give the more type safety bugs and that features, because uh, that not exactly the feature, but that gives the actual hold on, a complete strong hold on your applications, bugs and that stuff. So like, what you suggest to learn someone, just start with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then where you have to learn version control systems, then React, and somewhere you learn TypeScript. Like, what is the flow you suggest to the people? Because a lot of people confused, because everyone have their own taste, different roadmaps to follow, because every article, influencers, developers suggest different way to learn. What is your way to go from 0 to 100 in web development?
So so JavaScript uh, is a mainly a scripting language, but you can also use it for programming, right? It's
Yeah,
also a programming language, right? So I would suggest to learn basic DOM manipulation if you
okay.
are aiming for front end stuff, right? So learn basic DOM manipulation stuff in JavaScript. Uh, from the programming side, I would suggest learn basic data structures and algorithms first. And you can do that in low level languages as well, right? For example, Java or C++, right? If you already know that, you
Yeah,
can build some basic knowledge around those basic concepts. For example, object-oriented programming or functional programming, right? So functional programming is used like very often in JavaScript, right? So learn those basic concepts, and then once you get familiar with those concepts, you can easily, learn any language, I would say, right?
yeah,
Because any language in the
common
programming
things.
world is built upon those basic concepts, right? So if you look at JavaScript, right, its syntax resembles C or C++, right? So it's common, right? You just have to, you know, get familiar with basic concepts, and then you can build anything with any language.
Okay. And what about the frameworks you suggest? Just like learning basic JavaScript, then jump to React next, and like what about that?
So if you are learning, you can try anything, right? If you are learning. But if you have a product in mind, right, then you have to look at what I need, right? What is the requirement of my product? So if you are building a blog, then you don't need React because it won't involve much interactivity from the
Yeah,
user. So the user will just read the blog and then, close the tab. So in that case, a static site generator must be the right choice because it will build your blog at the build time and then you can host your blog anywhere, right? So if you are learning, then you can try anything. Try React, try Next, try, any meta framework you want because it's just learning, right? You're learning stuff. But when you are focused on building a product for users, then think about the requirement of the product and how well you can, uh, process that requirement in efficiently, I would say, right? Without
makes sense.
spending too much time on the tooling. Correct?
Yeah. Like making a choice is a better decision to just learning everything. And like I think a lot of people spend time to learn every framework technology, because and I think
Yeah,
they don't need to learn everything. You just need to understand, like, making a right decision. It's a better idea, and then work according to it or learn according to it. As you mentioned, if you want to build blog website, is not much may uh, get the interactivity or not involve interactivity, so you don't need to go with React site generation, or you can build with HTML CSS as well, which gives the more hold on that particular thing. And I think
yeah,
blog,
and
yeah,
the vice versa is also true. Like, right, if you want to, build a web application like Google Meet, which involves a lot of interactivity, then you can use something like Next.js because
yeah,
it provides stuff like routing and then, many features like authentication. You get many libraries which you can use in Next.js for
yeah,
authentication, right?
for
So
interactivity,
that's how
animations
you
and stuff.
decide. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
how actually these are the things, basics, which this fundamental thing that you have to learn, because a lot of people start with directly jump into JavaScript, learning variable data types and that stuff. But before learning programming language, just learn uh decision making thing. If something comes to my way, just like Google Meet or blog application, so you have to make sure, or you have to make that decision. So okay, this is a blog application, not much involve interactivity, so I have to go with that particular tech stack or particular technology. And this is the Gmeet or any other application which involves more interactivity, more features, routing and that stuff, so I have to use some better performance technology which give me the more output from it. So so these are the basic data I have to learn as well, just not to how to just JavaScript and better practices to it. Just learn about these things as well as a developer, and I think it takes time. Is not something that you can master in within a month, 2 months or
Yes.
3 months. It takes time.
Yep.
Yeah. And like if just take an example, you want to Rust in 24. So what is your approach to learn in Rust? Because as you build projects, as those things, I think you have a good understanding of how to pick something and learn about it. So if take example, you want to Rust in 24, you have 3 months to build some projects or get better idea on Rust. How you start from day one? You read some articles, you watch videos, what you prefer. Just give us a idea.
So, uh, I will share an interesting story with you. So, I was also interested in learning Go, which is
Okay.
a backend programming language, and it's really fast. But I never did that because I never got time to do so. So, there are technologies which you want to learn, but you can't because you don't have time, right? So Rust is a similar programming language that I want to learn, but I can't because you know
time
At
management.
work I don't use it,
Yeah,
and then I don't have time to learn it. But yeah, for your question, um I would suggest go to the documentation first, right? The official documentation that those programming languages have. They generally have a getting started guide, so you can configure things locally by reading that, and then switch over to blogs and YouTube videos, right? Because blogs and YouTube videos have much more nuance and context in them. They explain things a bit deeply, which documentation sometimes lack, right? So the best documentation that I ever come across in my developer journey is Nest.js.
Next.js. Yeah.
Like they have Nest.js, which is a,
Okay. Nice.
framework, right? Built on
Nest is
Express.
yeah. Nest is used for backend, I think. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So their documentation is like literally fantastic. They did a fantastic job at explaining things, right, at a documentation level. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would recommend reading blogs and watching YouTube videos and building projects side by side. So don't just read and watch, right?
Build something
Build
out of.
something.
Yeah.
So if you read and watched like for over a week, then after that week, build something with that knowledge, with whatever you have, right? Just build a simple CLI, or build anything, but build. That's what
Yeah.
I recommend.
That
And
gives the
then
better
and
better idea.
then yeah, and then post about it on social media platforms so that people can jump in and then share their opinions, how you can improve the thing that you have built, right? So that's how you learn. Yeah, that's the process.
Okay. And tell us about how you get the opportunity working at your company. Like you found from Twitter, LinkedIn, something, or you get on campus something that stuff.
No, so I got the opportunity from
Okay.
a referral. So yeah, that's how I got the
Okay.
opportunity.
And what are the what are the things that you suggest to the people who are looking for the job? How they can get through LinkedIn, because market right now is tough for the developers. And a lot of people learning the same thing and same tech stack. So for recruiters also, it's quite difficult to get the better people in. So somehow it also involves some bit of luck as well for you from your side, because sometimes you have a good experience in development, but somehow you build resume in that way recruiter don't going to the next round or next step of the interview, you will reject it. So you have to keep everything at good good manner. You have to tailor resume, your take your projects and everything you have to keep up to date, so someone will give the opportunity. So what you suggest to the people who are looking for jobs, how they can get?
So for getting jobs, I would suggest build projects and then post about them. So that's really important stuff, right? If you don't post about something you have built, people aren't going to notice that, right?
Yeah.
Like build a LinkedIn profile, right? Build your personal brand, like write blogs for various programming sites. That's what I would recommend, because building a personal brand gives you authenticity. Whenever a recruiter looks at your profile, then they uh, get to know you by your work, right? Not by your resume. So that's what I would recommend, right? Build your personal brand. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think it takes times as well to build personal
Yeah,
brand.
it takes time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
From my
if you want to get the opportunity quickly, then you can also do stuff like cold mailing.
yeah.
Like that works too sometimes, right? So yeah, that's also you can try.
Yeah. The things that I am trying now, or I want to suggest to the people who are looking for a job, is to just update your profiles on LinkedIn and Twitter. These two platforms will help you with a lot of things. I think Twitter will give the authentic and the real people who really needs people for their work. So you will get better opportunity there. Compared to LinkedIn, LinkedIn is also a great platform, but the problem with the LinkedIn is someone post the job and a lot of people apply to that. Even some people who don't know the web development, or some people don't know the Python development, they also apply job in terms of they will get job or they will get opportunity. So for the recruiter, it's fine difficult to get everything and just go with every resume. So it bit involves luck. In LinkedIn, what you can do, if you see a particular post someone is hiring, try to reach out them through the LinkedIn ad note option, which you find on the your laptop. Not, I think, is not available on the mobile. And another thing is to find the contact information. Just reach out through them email and write about your projects, the work that you did, and just make sure your resume is up to date with all projects, all links, and just reach out to them. Maybe it will give you the better opportunity, better results in terms of just applying. Click on apply button on the LinkedIn. These two things. And some of the platform which I want to recommend is Well Found, which previously the Angel List is also a great platform if you are targeting startups, and if you're targeting MNCs to go on their career page. Every MNC have newsletter stuff that whenever they promote some new job which match your profile, just create a profile, upload your resume and your information. Whenever the job are there, the particular mail will be you will receive, and you will get idea that company hiring from software engineer role or something, so you can apply to it. And
Yes,
yeah.
and most of the companies also have general form. So if you don't find a listing on their career page, right, you can still fill that form and then get the mail whenever the right job listing is there for you, right?
Okay.
So yeah, also there.
So yeah, these are the best practice that you can get job or to follow. And yeah, stay connected with the good people in the industry. They post something valuable on their feed in terms of job and something. So yeah, like you can learn from them as well. So yeah. So yeah, these are the stuff that we discuss with Murtuza about building projects, looking for jobs, and what are the best practices to follow with development. Yeah, Murtuza, everything you want to add to the students who are just started their journey, or the people who are looking for a job? Anything they want to add and share with them?
So one thing I would like to share is in the industry, you won't always be working on the shiny new stuff, right? So most of the times you will be working on legacy code which someone else has built, and then now you have to go through it and understand it and then improve upon it, right? So that's the most challenging part in the software industry, right? To understand the code in the first place and then build on top of it. So I would recommend that improve upon your basics. That will help you a lot, right? So yeah, that's the thing I recommend.
And be ready for everything, because as you mentioned, legacy code you have to work on. You are not going to work on the latest frameworks and technology. So whatever you learn maybe not going to help you in your industry. So be ready for every challenge, every phase of your development journey, and enjoy it. Just yeah. Thanks, Murtuza, for coming and sharing your learnings. And it's going to be really helpful for the audience, for me as well. And yeah, like I will put all the links of Murtuza have. Stay connected with him. He shared a lot of great content in terms of blogs, LinkedIn, Twitter feed. And yeah, you will learn definitely something valuable from him. Yeah. Thanks, Murtuza, for
Yep.
coming again.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Ganesh.